Hello. Let's see. A little rescheduled live. I was gonna say, it's not really a surprise live because I did update the scheduled time. But this was the live that was originally meant to be last Friday. And then I got dreadful illness. But I am mostly back to full strength, so I think we can carry on today. So Sarah says, is she confused about what day it is? No. So today is Wednesday. But I thought I would just make sure that I didn't skip last Friday's topic because it's all about that paper that you keep asking me, what am I supposed to do with this? How do I use it? It's the prop table paper. And here's the funny thing, I've made a terrible mistake. I'm still going to use this paper, but I can't use it how I expected to today because the other side of this paper is the white with a tiny orange grid. And I kept saying to myself, it's okay, I've used the B side here, but I'm going to show you another version with the prop table side, the blue tonal Scandi design. That's fine because I have more. No, I don't. I've used all of the sheets that I have because I've used the white with the orange grid because I love it so much and it's so versatile. So I've already used this paper 5 times and I had 5 sheets. So it's okay. I'm still going to show you how to use it, but I have to challenge myself in an extra way because what I'm going to do is use the back of this layout. I'm not actually going to stick it to this particular prop table. So hold on and let me hear this out. So I'm going, because I don't put my pages, I don't work on both sides of the paper in my album. If you use an album where the pages are already bound into the binding, like a spiral album where you're working on both sides of the paper, then that makes sense. But otherwise, I really don't suggest it as a scrapbooking scenario. If you are using pockets where you can put the pages into page protectors, if you work on both sides of the paper, it means that you have no freedom of movement of the stories that you're telling. If you work on separate papers, then you can choose later on down the line to completely rework how you keep your pages. You can also choose to keep certain pages and not others, and things like that become far easier. You can also give away certain pages. If you decide you want to make an album as a gift to somebody, then you could take certain pages out and not lose the one on the back. There are lots of reasons why working on both sides of the paper is, to me, a bit of a creative block and something that kind of shuts a door that I don't want. So what I'm going to do is make my layout knowing that I'm going to get another sheet of this paper and put it on top of there. So I'm just not going to stick the final everything to this so that I can stick it to an identical sheet of paper that doesn't have a layout on the other side. Do you follow? Does that make sense? So originally I was going to show you a way to use that paper by cutting it into a box, but nope, we don't get that liberty today. I got to use the whole 12 by 12 and just create stuff that's going to sit on top. So that's the challenge. Sarah says, so the answer on how to use this paper is just turn it over and use the B side. Well, the B side is really, really usable. And there's a reason why I put that B side with the more challenging A side. But that doesn't mean that I want you to completely ignore the A side. I do love that blue Scandi design. And yeah, I think we're good. Okay. Joanna says, I'll just send you mine. No, keep yours. It's okay. Right. Let's get to the desk. Yeah. Oh, and I just realized where the camera hits, you can't see my funny t-shirt today. Do you want to know what it says? WB made me get the Christmas box open, so we now have Christmas clothes. And it says, 'tis the season to be jolly, but then there's a picture of Baymax. And it says, ba la 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 la. Yay! All right, so here on the desk we have this paper. Here's all the other paper, and I was going through going, I'm sure I have another. No, and it's not in the paper pad, so you won't find it there. But I forgot. I have pulled out all of the orange grid. And I had 4 of everything, I believe. And then I ordered an extra sheet of all the ones that were in the kit this month. So I don't even have that. I've used 5 sheets. All right, let's put this away because that's not the kit. Let's use the kit. So here we go. Now, I've got my stack of Disney photos. Now, the good thing here, you've got a wild design in terms of the picture. Look, here's the other thing. If I did it back to back, I'd be stuck with that pattern reading as upside down. There are flowers that go both directions, but there's more that point that way. So I want it this way. Okay. So I want to find some photos to go with this. And the good bit is, although the design is a bit wild, it's minimal in terms of color. You have white and 2 shades of blue. So it's not a riot. There's not like so much going on here that you can't deal. You can totally deal. Did I buy the little flippy album to put these in? Yes. Is it sitting here while they're still in the stack? Yes. We all used to have these, right? Look, it still came with a negative pocket. I bought this autumn. Negative pocket. Amazing. Memo writing cards. Doesn't seem to have fit very well in their envelope. Right, so I was going to put all of these prints in here, but I haven't done it yet. Right. Naomi says she chickened out of buying prop table. Well, buy it for the other side too. Right. Okay, so let's just see what comes to mind. I don't think, annoyingly, that I have any Mary Blairish pictures in here, as in pictures on Small World, which this would go super easily with anything from Small World because it's a similar geometric style to the artist who created Small World. I've already scrapped that one. The blues would maybe match, but I've already done it. Don't need to do it again. This is interesting that I've chosen to put the photos horizontally when almost every picture I take is vertical. Scrapped those. Halloween. Why do I think I've scrapped this one so many times? I think I've already done it twice, but I love it so much, and it's just so easy to match with everything. Ah, but have I done this one? I know I've done that one. This is an option. That's an option. Okay, so let me give you those choices. So we could do. So this one, I pulled it out because Mickey's suit is actually this sort of color, but the float and the sky are not. They are blue-green. If I had just Mickey here, then I think that's great paper. And you bring in some lavender and some gold accents and Mickey would be right at home. But I feel like because he's small in this frame, we're actually getting more of the color of the shot from this framing here, which is more aqua. So sorry, today is not your day, Mickey. This one, the lighting in here is a good match, but I feel like this is more natural match. Whether we want 1 or 2 shots is another question, but I feel like this could work. Do we agree? Oh, Elaine thinks I've done the one of him looking in the window. Did I? Hold on. I have that Disney album sitting in the same room. I can look. Let's see. Oh, was it in that one that's a grid and it has multiple shots from that day? I bet it is. Darn it. Right. I still haven't found that mini layout that needs to go there. Minnie Mouse, not mini as in small. Here. No! Okay, so it's not there. No, I think we're good. I think I've pulled it out and then not scrapped it a few times because I've done the others multiple times. Okay. By the way, with shots like that, if I do an extra, it's not the end of the world to me because I can put one in the holiday album and one in the family album if I really like a picture. But also, he likes it if he'll say, like, I really like that picture, so can you put it in an album just for me? And so then it doesn't matter if I make an extra. Although 3 pages is probably a little silly. Right. Sophia says, do you still have a drawer full of pictures that you pick things out of on occasion, or do you mostly print as you go, other than big trips like this one? So I don't have the same setup that I had in Cover to Cover, where I had an actual dresser filled with pictures and I printed everything. So when we moved house, that dresser is now where my clothes live. And there's not a space like that. My craft space is considerably smaller than it was in the other house. So, so the way I can describe that, I'm going to sketch my space for you, just because why not? So, where I am now, here's me. Here's my desk. Here's a light, and a camera, and a camera that's here over the desk. Yeah? Okay. This is a window. It's giant. It's floor to ceiling. It's a whole wall of glass. Yay. It's one of the things that's really nice about our building. It's 1960s made with these like floor to ceiling glass panels. Is it amazing? Yes. Are we now at the point where the building is aging and we're having all sorts of problems? Also, yes. Right. I don't have a wall here. This is an open hallway to the 2 bedrooms. So there's no wall here, but I have to keep this space clear because this is a path. Also, the bathroom is down here. This is a staircase. So I don't have a wall here either. Yeah? So there's a banister to the staircase that goes to the window here. And these are stairs. The wall that's on the side over here is not something that could be accessible for storage. It's actually just a plain white wall at the moment. Eventually, I think we might do some sort of epic gallery wall on it, but it's going to require ladders and thought. So far, no. But what I had in the old studio was that I could have this wall be storage behind me like it is now, and my desk in the middle like it is now. And then this wall was the window. And this wall could then be storage. And this window was different than the one I have here, sort of. In that it was still floor to ceiling, but the bottom panel had privacy glass so that you couldn't see in. So I put a dresser in front of it, which was fine. And I had the top half all exposed. So I had that whole, like, how do I describe that? Like half a wall. So the top was all open because that was a window, but the bottom half was a massive drawer unit. And I had everything that was over to the side here was an expedite. So that's the storage space that I lost. Also, I had a corner here. So I lost that much when I came to the new house and built this studio. So there we go. All right. Now, so yeah, I mostly print as I go, except for things that I plan out, like the Disney album. I actually need to finish ordering the prints for the rest of that because I worked it all out, but I was doing it when Persnickety were kind of moving their site around and upgrading, so I just thought I'll wait and do that in a second batch because I've still got plenty here. Right. Ah, Elaine, you are right. I did do him looking in a window at Wizarding World. So there's a Harry Potter page with him looking in the window rather than this. Okay, I better do my speech because I haven't done that yet. And then I'll sketch out what I'm going to do here with prop table. Hello, my name's Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime you scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising, and legally I need to make sure you're aware of that. Thank you for watching my hashtag advertising. I appreciate you being here, whether you are live, chatty, watch from Tomorrowland, quiet, craft, don't craft, think about coming back to craft, just craft at Christmas. All of these things totally acceptable around here. You are welcome as long as you're nice. Yeah. And yeah, if you want links to anything you find here, like the supplies, like my character collection, my main character energy collection, which you can find at different shops. You can find links to my classes. All that sort of stuff is in the description box below the video. At Christmas, I do teach 2 different Christmas classes. They both start on the 1st of December. One is about journaling and crafting and keeping Christmas in your heart, that sort of way. That's called Journal Your Christmas. The other one is about capturing Christmas with photography, videos, that sort of stuff. It's called Share Your Christmas because when I started it, I kept thinking it was more about finding a way that you could post interesting Christmas content, like nice Christmas photos on something like Facebook or Instagram to show your friends. But I almost think that now I should have called it Capture Your Christmas because it doesn't have to be about sharing it with other people. But that's why it's called Share Your Christmas. You can totally take Share Your Christmas and then keep all those wonderful photos to yourself. It's totally fine. I don't know why I didn't think about that at the time. So there we go. I did tell you what was on my shirt, Sherry. My shirt says, "'Tis the season to be jolly," and then it has a picture of Baymax, and it says, "Ba la 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 la." There we go. Right, let's scrapbook. I think that's all my hashtag stuff. There we go. Okay, so I'm not sticking anything to the background. Just saying that out loud to myself to make sure I remember what I'm doing here because there's a layout on the other side and it's upside down. Okay. So let's first of all have a look at what else is in the kit that's going to work color-wise, because this is the bigger challenge. Even though there's only the blue and the navy and the white here, there's not a lot of that color in the rest of the kit. So I need to have a look at where there is blue. I think this mostly has the turquoisey blue-green, and I'm looking for truer blues. See, even that one is very blue-green. So not the 6x6 today. We do have the true blues in here. So we've got some stickers to work with. This actually might work here. I might use that. And we've got some of this will work. Navy, but with the blue-green. I need to remember that I've got die cuts. I've got this. Okay. The vellum and the yellow I've both got earmarked for other videos, so that's okay. But you know, I'm not going to bring this collection in here today. This, however, the orangey yellow tones will go beautifully with that blue. That's fine. Let's go through the die cut pack and see what else I can pull out here. Okay. So the navy works, the blue butterfly works, this could work, rainbow can work, that can go, this is fine, this is fine. See, so that blue does show up in the collection, even though I've got the blue-green as well. There are plenty of times when the true blue shows up. Okay. There are more here that I'm passing up that could work color-wise, but I'm just looking at keeping it all stuff that will work together. So let's start there. I can always come back if I need more. Oh, Sophia's got True Blue, the Madonna song in her head. Things from my past, upside down scrapping. You're gonna laugh because I made something to wear on my wrist for the Journal Your Christmas videos, and as I was putting it together, I kept making it so that it would be legible in the wrong way. And I realized I had reverted back to thinking I was working upside down too. And then I was like, oh no, I scrapbooked the right way around. So let me rearrange so that it stays in the right order. Okay, so this is a fair amount to work with. Yeah. Now, there's also the blue mini grid, but I didn't have that in this kit. Am I right? I had it in a previous month's kit, I think. Let's see. I have all of them here. I can look at the kits all next to each other. But I have to log in to see it. There we go. So, oh, but what I did have, so I didn't have the leafy one, but I did have this one. This is from this month's kit. So that has the blue as well. All right. Which month did I have the leafy green one? It was in September. Had the blue grid. This one. Yeah? Okay, cool. All right. Oh, put it back so that I can see your comments. There we go. Do I have blue film strips from 49 Market? I think I have teal, not blue. Yeah. Didn't I do teal and purple? I want to say. But I can have a look. Right. So, basically going to layer stuff up. Do you want me to sketch that? I'm not sure this is going to be an exciting sketch. So the massive pattern background stays whole. We've got 2 4x6 photos, which I am incapable of drawing to scale. Okay, so I'm going to put them on just slight different height lines. And then we're going to box all of this out with lots of layers, and then everything is going to need to be stuck together. No pieces actually stuck to the background. Everything's going to have to be included here. So I think that means we need a journaling box over to the side, and then maybe a title zone down toward the bottom. Okay, the embellishment is all going to get tucked into those layers, because nothing can stick to the background. Yes, Elaine. Everyone needs friendship bracelets that say Journal Your Christmas, right? Everybody does. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it's going to feel weird to work on there too, because it's not flat. So look at your biggest pieces of paper first, because they're going to create your box. Now, one of these photos has more direction to the other one. So this one, everything is square. He's pointing out at us. This one, everything has an angle going that way because he's facing that way. So we're going to do that sort of scenario there. Let's have a look at this first of all. Oh, this, I was looking for pieces of red. This is the branding strip from the confetti paper. So I can use that because I want some little elements of red. So then we discover how much of this can sit on there. Now, I'm not a big fan of brown ink on blue papers, so I'm going to swap my brown to black today. So we've got that, but we're obviously not going to want this color straight against that because they're the same. You're going to see no contrast. We need other pieces. That's okay. We got other pieces coming right up. But actually we need something with more contrast than that because this is here too, see? So we want to start adding some things that are a little different. Now, if I take all of this down to there, the layering is lovely, but it's not a piece of pattern paper. I don't have more of that pattern paper. This is the whole die cut. So we do this. And then we can use the other side of the card elsewhere so that the pieces go together. Yeah. So then this piece, for example, could come over here. Like that. Kelly's like, I love that die cut. And then I chop it up. But we're good. We're good. Okay, can I make this fit somewhere? No. What were you thinking, Shimelle? Okay, so this one I can make fit, no problem. But now I have the same problem. I have no contrast, and I'm going to have the same problem with this one. Oh, there is a little bit of contrast here because this is actually a lighter shade yet again. So maybe we use that. And we pull that out as far as we can without completely running out of space. So put your pieces in a position that you think is vaguely where you want them to be so that you can then get everything spaced out because I'm not sticking anything to the background. Okay. Still need a big piece to go behind here, which I may need to cheat and add some extra stuff. If I get rid of that swirl. Speaking of that swirl, because that's the layout I did for the magazine that I perhaps did not understand. So it's going to be on newsstands on the 28th of December. So you can go laugh. Hopefully it's not going to be too cringe. I don't know. Yeah. What do we think about a scrapbooking article in a magazine that runs lots of stories about trauma, traumatic things that happen to women? I don't know. Hopefully it will be, helpful for somebody. They'll pick up a positive hobby. This is what I keep telling myself. I'm here for helping somebody pick up something positive. Now, I think that might actually be too big. No, it's not. I just need more stuff before that one comes in. We're good. We're good. Okay. Oh, Kelly loved that die cut, but she cut hers up too, so we're good. We're good. Oh, what did I just knock over? It's fine. Okay. So let's work on what else can come in here so that I can get this to the right sort of size. So this floral or this. There's still that childlike part of me who's like, put the sunshine die cut toward the top corner of the page, like when you draw a picture when you're 6 and there's a green line at the bottom and a yellow circle up here. We've all been there. Okay. So that's going to go to this edge here. Then I was thinking this could go there, and then bring this coloring down here too. Yeah? Oh, or I did have the, okay, so let's make a choice. Do I want both, the dreamer and maybe even the sweet little? Do I want, do your thing, do the two go together? Do we want both? One up here, one down here, or just one or the other? You got a preference? I suppose I have no shortage of photos where this is going to suit this boy. So maybe this, because this looks dreamy to me, this is a better call. Oh, Sophia. Sophia says, I think over the years you've been very good at encouraging people to find the moments of joy in life in despite of whatever else might be going on, and explaining how to do that too. Thank you. Hopefully that works with the magazine. Elaine says, joy is definitely needed to balance out all the trauma. That's exactly what I was thinking when I saw the front cover, and I'm like, well, there is a positive here. So, yeah. Okay, so if we overlap that kind of about that much, I'm going to move the grid for now. Because what I was thinking then is that this cloud, I've got cloud and sun then. Is it too babyish? I might have to ask him that question later. I just like clouds, so I don't necessarily see them as like a baby motif. And he is little, whether he wants to admit it or not. He's small. Small. Okay. Yeah. You know what I want to add in here? Peach. Of course I do. Do I have any of that left, or have I used it all? I might have used it all. Let's see. I have the peach floral there. Which, you know, could work. I've used it, haven't I? I've used all of the Love This peach. Okay, if I want peach, then I gotta make the floral be the peach. Okay. Sometimes I play favorites with my papers, and then it means I've used them all. But I have a feeling you'll be okay with this. It's gonna be pretty. Okay, so let's see. Do we want like kind of like, it's probably about 7 inches tall, I think. Oh, maybe 8. Oh, but that's, where's this? Because I thought this was too much. Okay, let's start 7.5. It's going to need bringing in on the sides, but I can get there. Yeah, 7.5 looks good. Okay. Oh, peach. Just peach. I need to get the 49 and Market peach so I can evaluate my options, how I want to work with it. I do want to work with it, but how? Okay, I feel like it needs to go that way. Oh, are you done? You're done. Okay. Right then, hold on. Oh, good. Sometimes I remember to leave one in a sensible place and not in the drawer underneath the computer. I did that this time. Go me. That way. Done. So easy. Do you remember having to figure out, does anybody still use Hermafix dots? I used Hermafix dots for years, and loading the new one was never easy. They had a mind of their own. They looked like they should be easy, but they were not. So it didn't have a thing that you're going to throw away, to be fair. It didn't have like a case. It was just the roll of dots, and you had to put it in, pull the end, and get it kind of set in the gears, and then wind it. But then sometimes it would stick to itself. So every time you pulled it, then it would just fold in on itself. And, you know, there are so many things I have more time for in my life without the headache of that. It was not my favorite element of scrapbooking. Okay, so what if this grid only comes over here? I'm curious, actually. Let's talk adhesives. What is everybody using at the moment? Because I know my favorites are not always everybody's favorites. What are you using and where are you from? Keeping in mind, if you're new to my TED Talks on adhesive, different adhesives work well in different climates. So do not necessarily follow what I do. If you live in the desert, you're probably going to want different adhesive than where I live in my house with the dehumidifier running 24/7, because otherwise I'd be living in a cold sauna. Yeah? So, tell us what you're using and where you're from. Oh, Kelly's using tear tape. What is tear tape? Where do you live? Like what kind of climate? You can just say your general region of the world or whatever. Larson's using Kokio dot liner. That is another favorite of mine. Totally embrace the Kokio. Love it. Okay, so that one's going to go there. This is going to go on top of here. Right. So then the peach can come down there. Yes, do we like the hint of peach? It works. Love a bit of peach. My first choice would have been the other one, the Love This, but the floral works too, because the other tones are here. And we've got the blues, and then we've got this orange here. It works. Okay, now, does this floral then work with that floral? Do I want to keep away from those? Could add in this rainbow, however. Do I put the rainbow behind the sun? Okay, it's not the worst thing ever, but also feels a little clunky. So maybe no. But I like this somewhere. Oh, this was the other rainbow. Oh, the height makes that one less clunky. Yeah, I know it's going behind the sun, and that seems kind of weird. But rainbows also disappear into nothingness, so I'm okay with it. Elaine used Herma back in the day. Now uses either Koku or the Dovecraft Stick It. Yeah. Dovecraft's easy to get a hold of in this country, which helps. Awkward Stick File says she's in Arizona and she uses the ATG, which means she must have a muscly arm, and Scotch Tacky Glue. Joanne is in Melbourne and uses this one too. She says that she has all of the weather in one day. Yes. So you need something that will cooperate with that lifestyle. Hot, cold, dry, soggy, you got it all. There we go. That's ended up meaning that my title that was down at the bottom of the sketch is now up at the top. But that's okay. Right, drink your coffee, Shimelle. You can hear your voice getting all gravelly again, like rocks. So here's a funny for the day. I think, so WB's working tonight, and I think I'm not going to the show. I haven't done that yet. So part of me is like, is this the right call? I'm going tomorrow. So it's not like, it's not like I'm missing it for a long time. I don't know. I'm interested to hear from people who don't do this thing. Like, if your kids did sport or something, did you go to every match? Or no? Because I feel like I'm thinking back to sport when I was a kid. And there were definitely parents who were there at every game, who came to away games and that sort of thing. But I'm pretty sure there were kids who, like, I wasn't sporty. I was a cheerleader, but other than that, was not on team sports. But I went to games because I was a cheerleader. And I certainly know that there were some kids on the team whose family were not there, even though it's a small town. And because it's a small town, then you know whose parents are there. So I think sometimes there were both extremes, even in a small town. Should it feel weird that I'm not going? I don't know. Will I change my mind at the last minute and go anyway? Possibly. But also kind of like to maybe not go every single show. I talked to him about what if I went every other show? And he was like, yeah, that would be fine. That would be fine. So every other show. That's still a lot of shows. I mean, I'm on, I think my next show is the 30th. It might be 29. I'm on either 29 or 30. Or I may need to recount and we're on like 32. I don't know. We're somewhere around 30. What am I saying? Okay. I want to bring these colors now down to this corner. which means some of the embellishments I pulled out at the beginning might not be the best sort of shot. Obviously, if he freaks out and is like, no, I want you in the audience, I'll go, because I'm like that. Sarah's like, I'm just the other side of the river. Hello. And she's using Herma, but it still has the sticking to itself issue. Sarah, what I learned in my experience of many years of both selling and using Herma, do not let it freeze. We had a shipment once where everybody's refills were just sticking to each other on a next level kind of scale. And then we found out that the delivery they were from, because we queried it, and it all shook out that they'd been in a truck that had sat in like a frozen depot for a week or something. Don't let it freeze. It seemed to be a problem. Elaine did not go to most of her boys' footy matches due to her condition, but football is definitely a winter outdoor sport here. Yes. When we go to get on the bus to go to his lessons on a Saturday morning, we're leaving at like 9:30, and there are matches that are already in the second half, and everybody's out on the heath in the cold, and it's rainy and dark, and I'm just like, oh, I think I'm glad you did an indoor activity. Oh, Sophia went to boarding school, so there were never parents at any matches. She's fine. It was just a small, sad gaggle of one or two sports teachers who had to come with the school and the subs. Well, even I taught at a comprehensive here, just a normal standard, what Americans would call high school. I'm trying to decide, do I want this on top, underneath? Maybe underneath. And they decided to have a football team that would go compete against some other schools. And here's where I realized there's a big, big difference in British schools and American schools. So the whole concept in America of having like schools in a league, and you play certain other schools, and you're going to play them in every sport over the year. That's totally what I grew up with. It is not standard here. It is very normal in paid for schools here. You go to a private school, they're going to have a sports team. They're going to compete against that. That's very normal. But your normal state school that you don't pay to go to is going to be a little less organized than that. In fact, WB School have recently put together their first football side ever, and it's adorable, and it's just they're cute little ragamuffins. One of the parents came on the class chat to say, like, my kid came home today saying they're on the football team, but she's never played football outside of PE class. Does anybody know if she's making stuff up, or is this actually possible? That's the kind of team that they've got right now. Adorable. But so when I was teaching at this comprehensive, there was a point where one of the PE teachers had a big initiative to call a bunch of other local schools and say, can we have like a football tournament? And I was coaching a group of cheerleaders basically after school, and they said, do you want to come to the game? So we took this group of like 10 cheerleaders. We didn't have skirts or anything. We borrowed rugby shirts so that we could be in the school color, and then they just wore black leggings of any kind that they wanted. So at least they looked like they all belonged to one school. And so I talked to them about how to like cheer at a game, because they'd never done this before. And they'd learned routines, and they'd learned stunts and stuff like that, but they'd all just done it for themselves, never in front of an audience. So we talked about the whole leading part of cheerleading, and then we show up, and there are 0 parents at this match from either side. There is no one to lead. And the footballers were like, why are you here? And at one point I remember thinking, I am not sure. Because it was very different than my expectations too. Whoops. But hey ho, live and learn. So this little frame could come down here. Oh, Barbara's at the other extreme. Her daughter goes to every single sport event her kids have. Barbara was a single mom, so not so devoted to attending all of them. Laura says her brother is at every match for his boys, but he's part of the coaching setup. He's a lot harder than me. Shorts in snow kind of chap. Yeah, no. Sophia says she was just about to type cheerleading is not really a thing here. The funny bit is, if you have young kids now, cheerleading is a thing in the UK now, but only what in America we would consider, this is such a loaded term. When I was a kid, it was called elite. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're better, though. It just means a different kind. And I think the name may have changed, but I'm out of it and too much to know. So when I was a cheerleader at school, you were either a school cheerleader or an elite cheerleader. And what that meant was that at school, if you were a cheerleader for your school, you're attached to the team and you're cheering for your team. You go to games and you cheer to an audience. Yeah. Elite elite cheerleaders trained in a gym, and they weren't attached to any particular team. They just did cheerleading as a sport in itself. Yeah. So, if you've watched Cheer on Netflix, they're like in between because they are attached to a college. So they do cheer for their school, but they're more successful as a team in their own right in the cheerleading world. So it's almost like going to a game for them is like practice, because the big deal is coming later when they just compete against other cheerleaders. So when I was a kid, if you didn't cheer for your school, if you just did the part where you learned how to cheer and then you cheered at a meet against other cheerleaders, that was called elite. But I have a feeling there's probably another name for it now, or maybe all-star. It was also called that in some areas when I was growing up. Anyway, that part of cheerleading is big business in the UK now. It was just starting when I was coaching, and I know a lot of young ones that are cheering now on that sort of scenario. So yeah, wild. This has both the peach and the blues. Just looking if there was a piece that would be nice to fit down here. And I've already used the one that had red hearts, unless it's the back of that one. Yeah, I've already used the red. Okay, cool. Virginia, thank you. Virginia says the wording they would use now is competitive or club. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this could be a really good card for this, but I think I'm out of space for it. And I think there's a better way for me to use this into journaling, and I don't have a lot of room for longer journaling here. This could be really nice too. Could I make the rainbow and sunshine combination work down here? Yeah, I can actually. Okay. Because this one I can bring it in more. The sentiment is smaller than this. This, I need the whole card to be visible. You can't really lose much space around the edges. But this one, the sentiment is in the center. So it can have less space on the page. Now, do I want it underneath the blue grid? I think I do. Yeah, I prefer it underneath the grid than underneath the photo. And then I want this rainbow to work with it. How is that going to happen? Maybe it does have to go under the photo. And then the rainbow goes under the grid. Yes. Okay. Okay, now I've taken off that pink frame at this point. I could still have it underneath here. I think that's kind of a wasted spot there. Okay, let's add in a couple little touches of the red. Where you go? There. Oh, Elaine said the only thing she knew about cheerleading comps was from Sweet Valley High and Kim Possible, and that's simply not, that's still not a lot. Aw. To be fair, Kim Possible won't steer you wrong. It's been a long time since I've read Sweet Valley, though I can't remember how realistic Sweet Valley is. Marry you. So a bit of it there. I think a bit over here. The boat race, even at university level, says Sophia, there's not a lot of big hype around uni level matches for things. Only if it was a varsity match. Sometimes not even then. Yeah, but the boat race is kind of unique because it's televised. The boat race is unique in many ways. The Oxford versus Cambridge in a rowboat. It is a whole other little world. We got this weird space now, so I'll come back to that. So I've got the polka dot kind of top and bottom there. Actually, no. So I was going to add another thing here to bridge that gap, but instead I'm just going to have a longer piece of the red. Now that I take a step back and look at it, I just want a longer piece of red to tuck underneath the pink. So I still want the peach paper visible, just that little bit of red. And then where would I like my third spot of red? Possibly down here, but that's very close. Could be over here and put a phrase sticker on top of it. What are my phrase stickers then? To this bit of yellow. But yeah, like my university, even though I went to a small university, the sport was a huge deal, especially football. That was the exceptional sport for where I went to do my undergrad. And the whole town would come out, and alumni make the trek down to go to certain games and stuff like that. Okay. Now, so I've got this kind of shot of green. I feel like I need to make a little bit more of the green. I'm just going to tuck this underneath here. How far, where do I need to put it so that it's going to be legible? That I don't like. Nope. Never mind. Maybe over here. There. Okay. I do actually have this version of the same rainbow, but it's extra because it has gold dots on it, and I kind of like them together, but popped up. Let's do that. Sophia says it seems amazing to her and kind of cool that uni-level sports in the U.S. are near enough treated as professional sports with lots of keen followers and so on. Yeah, and the fact that American university sports can then be so popular also means that it's a very lucrative field in terms of scholarship. So you want to go to university and you're a talented athlete, you can make this happen. One of these is going to need to keep its tab. And they will help you. So in fact, one of the jobs I had at university was helping a star basketball player. So not like doing his homework. There are universities who do that and they sometimes get caught, sometimes don't. But mine was, so he had a scholarship from South Africa to be the star forward on our basketball team. And he had to maintain a certain GPA. Oh, sorry, Joanna, off you go. See you later. He had to maintain a certain grade level on top of his sports schedule. And the fact that he had kind of taken a big jump from whatever school he had gone to come do a university degree in another country meant that his academics needed some support. So I had to go to 2 classes with him and sit next to him. One of them I was taking anyway for myself, and one I was not. And so so then I had to kind of keep in mind that, or keep track of whether he was keeping up. So I wasn't doing his work for him, but I was supposed to keep an eye and go, oh, like, no, that's not good enough. You need to spend more time on this. And then either tutor him myself or connect him with a university tutor, basically to kind of make sure that he wasn't going to fail his classes. Does that make sense? So that our school had a really strict policy, and we had to go to this training thing of like, this is what you're being asked to do, and this is what you do not do, so that everything was on the straight and narrow. And they would warn you. They'd be like, some of these kids will probably offer to pay you to just go to class and do their homework for them. But then, so the reason we were paired is because I went to school on an academic scholarship. I needed to be they needed people who would be in a position where if we got caught, everything would go wrong for us. I couldn't complete my degree if I didn't have that scholarship. So I was not going to mess it up. So that's why they did this pairing, to make sure that everything would be above board. Sophia says that on top of scholarships, they're now paid for the use of their likeness. Yeah, especially at the top level. Yeah. And they can transfer on a whim to another college if they feel they're not getting enough playtime and things like that. And I think there's probably a whole legal team at the big universities just for how you sign athletes, how do you try and keep them from going somewhere else. It's big business for sure. But people buying tickets and spending money at those matches brings in money for the university. It pays for the fact that your football coach is one of the best paid people at your university. So that's very different than a British university. Yeah. But also, American university costs different amount than here. The scholarship system is entirely different and entirely open. You can get a scholarship for all kinds of weird stuff if you're willing to do the work and find out where it's available. I got some of those weird scholarships, like writing an essay to some group of, I got 3 different scholarships from different junior service leagues. My American audience, does the junior service league still exist? I assume that it just keeps going. The junior service league would be like respected women of a community, kind of ladies who lunch and make plans to do good things, and they have fundraisers and do things to raise awareness for nice causes in their town. I don't know how else to describe, but they do have a reputation for having like lovely tea parties and things like that. Lots of them have scholarships available where you have to write an essay and then see who wins the essay contest. And I won 3 of them from towns I'd never been to. I just wrote the paper because they give you a topic. I wrote the paper, sent it in, and then a few months later got a thing back saying, congratulations, you've won $300 in the Junior Service League of so-and-so. And I'm like, thank you. That's great. Because I needed help to get to university. But I did it. It's fine. There we go. Here, you know how much you're paying. Every university basically costs the same. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, Jessica got a scholarship from the Daughters of the American Revolution. Yeah, my best friend had a DIR scholarship, and I think that was either write an essay or do an interview. Yeah. Yeah. Sophia says, it's not quite like the U.S. yet, but she suspects it's getting there because people are leaving university with a lot of debt here in the UK now. Yeah. The debt they're leaving with here is small potatoes compared to America, so it's a scaling matter. The university that I wanted to go to, and so the reason that I was really scurrying for scholarships is I got into my dream university on early acceptance at the beginning of my senior year, but I thought I was going to be able to afford it, and looking back, no, there was never going to be a way I could afford it, but I did not know that yet. Anyway, so I had kind of then neglected what my other options. I didn't apply other places, and at the last minute realized this is not going to happen. I need to figure this out, or I'm stuck at home, and so I got into a state university on an academic scholarship, which was fine. But when I now look back, I can do the maths of how much debt I would have left that first university with. I would not have paid it off until I was about 42, I believe. And that was my best case scenario. Best case. The worst case is that I would never have paid it off. So that was like, it was in New York. So if I was going, like my best case scenario was if I could live in subsidized student housing, which we all know is probably not going to happen for the whole degree and things like that. Yeah, it was mad. So did I end up better off by only leaving with kind of just the debt of living expenses from my small state university, not everything else. Right. Let's get back to the scrapbooking, shall we? This needs orange, peach, something happening over here. I remember I saw, was it in here? No. I saw something else that would work over here. Oh, of course. It's pictures of him on his own, and the peachy one is the word together. But, you know, we were all together. We're just not, some of us are behind the camera here. Sandra says, there's a little spot beside the left hand here. Is something else going there? I wasn't going to put something else there. No, I put the red there on purpose. I see what you mean, because there's a shape like this there. So maybe, but I wasn't intending on it. Here. Okay, still need something else because they're like stacked. But then maybe I can bring in one of the word stickers or a star or something that's not a box. This corner needs something that's not a box because there's lots of boxes happening. Oh, I've got the blue flowers. One like this. One like that. We've got a semicircle. Yep. And then maybe some gold hearts. No, thought I was going to like that. I do not. Put it back. Okay. I got one to put down here. Have I used them all? I've used them all. That's it. That's your lot, Shimelle. Okay, but those two are separate, so I want this one to be separate. Where? Here. They've all got the same sort of angle and placement. Right. Is there anywhere for this to go? Yeah, there. Sandra can't look away. Can't look away from here. Okay, I'll see what else I can find. Maybe. Oh, I just thought, are you seeing the top of my head? I feel like I'm leaning way over. Yes, you are seeing the top of my head. I'm sorry. I haven't quite got used to the wider view of the new camera yet. I'll get there. I'll get there. Now, I had that one last blue flower. What if we put this blue flower in here? Sandra, does that work better? Like there. There you go. Right. Journaling on there. We've got this space here. Oh, I have a tiny little gold curlicue. Goodness. You know that noise when trucks reverse when it says like, caution, this vehicle is reversing? There's a truck that must have just been, somebody must just be saying in reverse but not actually going anywhere. Because I can hear that noise, but it's like a street and a half away, I bet. And it's been going the whole time. So it's finally hit that bit of my brain where it goes, this is too much. The vehicle has been reversing too long. Do I like that not coming all the way over to here? Because I don't have anything else to put there. I wanted to like it, but I don't think I do. I like it. If I look at it like this, I love it. Nope. Yes. Nope. Yes. So, how about over here? Where it can go to the edge. Vehicle is reversing. Is it really? Have you gone anywhere? Kelly says she has 2 kids at uni right now. One is at home and one is out of province. Dreams can be expensive. I hear that. They really, really can. I had a massive moment. So I had some debt. It was not from my tuition, but it was from like living at university when I moved to the UK. So, and I, in order to be able to pay it, had it on a credit card because I wasn't eligible for any sort of loan in America at that point in time. But, you know, credit card companies were lining up because they love a university student. So I bring that credit card debt over to the UK, and I'd been here for many years, and I'm just paying what I can, chipping away at this debt and watching it not go away because the interest is so high, and I've got to convert my money to pay it back in dollars. And it was a bit of a pain in the neck. And I was dating the Adhesive Avenger when I finally said, oh, I have to go get an international money order today because I have to pay my American debt. And he was like, why are you paying it in another country? I said, well, because I don't have any sort of like assets in this country, so I can't get anything here. And he said, but it's debt you incurred as a student, right? And I'm like, well, when I was a student, yes, but it's not like a student loan. It's on a credit card. And he's like, okay, so I'm going to write down the stuff you need to find out. And he gave me this list. We're like in a Starbucks. Gives me this list of, find out, you need the following documents. Like you need to know what your pay is right now, because I had a teaching job, so I was getting the same amount of money every month. I had a legitimate income. What are your outgoings? Get all of those bills and put them all in a folder. Then get your credit card statement and see what you've got. And you're going to make an appointment at a British bank. And I'm like, what? And he's like, just seriously, hear me out. You've beaten yourself, like you've caused this problem in your head, and this is not going to be an actual problem. So sure enough, I go to the bank and sit down with a loan advisor and make an appointment in this appointment. And I say, so this is what I earn. This is how I'm paying off my American debt. And the guy at the bank goes, that's debt you incurred as a student, right? And I'm like, yes. He went, but you're paying it on an American credit card because you've moved over here. Yes. How do you pay it every month? I go to the post office and I buy an international money order and I put it in the post, hoping it makes it there. One time it did not. That was a horrible month. And so he goes away and he comes back and he says, so I can offer you this loan. And like I was paying like 25% on my credit card, something ridiculous, because when they catch you at that age and you have no other way out, you're going to pay the ridiculous interest. And he basically offered to loan me the whole amount to just wipe out the American credit card debt and put it in a British loan at 4% interest. He was like, because you have a good job, like we know that we'll get it. It's not a problem. You are not high risk. And I just broke into tears in the office, not knowing that that was an option ever. But it made total sense to the Adhesive Avenger. He was just like, well, obviously, you just go and you sort this out. No one should be having to send an international money order to pay their American credit card. Just sort it out. So then I paid the last of that off in instead of it taking years and years because of that interest, 25 to 4% saved me a load, and I was able to get rid of it really fast. It was life-changing. But no one would have told me that at an American university. No way. We all had credit cards with huge interest rates. Yeah. Okay, so remember, if you've joined late, hi, this is not stuck. But it's going to be. So you can use this background paper as a full background. It doesn't have to be scary. Does this seem scary? Like, is this so much to your eye that you're like, whoa, no? I think it's fine. So maybe if you were looking at this paper and going, how do I cut it? The answer is you don't. Build stuff on top of it and then go from there. I am going to show you a step in case you did think, actually, that's a lot. There's so much color and pattern happening. Okay. Sandra says, isn't it great when somebody just helps you with a plan to get rid of credit card debt? It gets so overwhelming. I really honestly think, in case somebody out there hears this, if you have credit card debt and you're like, oh my goodness, what do I do? Get someone who's not involved to look. You need somebody who's just removed from the situation, who doesn't care what you spent it on. It's fine. I felt really like a lot of my credit card debt coming out of university was paying for my phone bill. I had a really expensive phone bill, a normal landline. I didn't qualify for any sort of discount. I lived a long way from all of the people I was calling, and I spent a lot of money on the phone. It's just what it was. And so I didn't have anything that I could like hold in my hand and be like, well, this is the thing that got me into debt. Because I didn't. I had spent it on the phone company and I felt stupid. And so having somebody who was not going to look at what I'd spent it on, that was not the issue. The issue was just, how can you best pay it off? You've spent it? Fine. Now let's move on. And that attitude completely changed everything for me. I needed to step away from all the beating myself up. I mean, like I was 21 when I was trying to figure this out. And I needed somebody to just separate the emotion from the financial. The emotional from the financial, they're two separate things. So in order to get your debt parts sorted out, you need to step away from the guilt that you got the debt. You've done it. It's fine. Like, let's get out of it rather than let's keep feeling bad that I did this. Yeah? So I'm just going to say that in case you ever find yourself in that position and you're beating yourself up right now or whatever, find somebody who can just be neutral and say, this is it. Separate the emotional. It will be fine once you can get your head around it, and you just have to separate the two things. Right, so back to scrapbooking. If you still feel like it's a bit too busy, so adding the vellum here, just as a little softener around the edge, can help you do that. But keep in mind that different vellums are different opacities. So this is a really, really subtle vellum. There's not, like, you can see that pattern very clearly through there. So you would, if that's not enough softening for you, you either need a vellum with more opacity, one that's less like a tracing paper, or you need multiple sheets to build up what you've got there. So I can show you that, like, having something like that, yeah, and the two layers here then give you a bigger, more obvious halo. Soften things up around the edges. Okay, I'll leave it there for now. It's fine. Okay, I wanted this blue in here somewhere, but not next to the title. Where do I want it? Not over here. I got too many over there. Oh, I wanted it because it would suit the colors and story and everything, but maybe there. Okay. Oh, Millie did a Dave Ramsey course called Financial Peace University to learn how to get out of debt, and her brother-in-law acted as an accountability partner. No judging, absolute godsend. Yes, I know nothing about the Dave Ramsey course, but I like the sound of that. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Sophia knows somebody who paid their way for 2 years for all their training to become a barrister on credit card. That's a lot of expensive training. I hope that it worked. Yeah. The things we discuss here. Yeah, I was not naturally great with money. I learned the hard way that I had to be more careful. Yeah. It's okay. And do you know what? I think there needs to be more said about that. I think it's important to see that you can make those mistakes and it's not the end of the world. You don't have to live on off-brand pot noodle forever. If you address it and make plans and sort it out, you know, I definitely felt like there was a point where I should like hang my head and I'm never going to be financially stable. This is just me accepting my life with bad credit rating forever. And that was not the case. It really wasn't. And I also found it really weird that I could do the books for a project and be really on it with the money, But the money in my real life, I was not anywhere near that regimented with. And I think that's a know your strengths and try to learn from yourself thing too. So just because I've known somebody who also worked as an accountant in their real life, but was rubbish with their own money. I can totally understand that, because when it's your job to do something versus this is my money, this is my life, I'm just going to go buy my shopping at the store. It's fine. And then you're like, oh, wait, what have I done? Yeah, it's okay. You can get through it. But you know, if that's you and you have lots of craft supplies, maybe it's time to use what you buy. Sophia says, yes, the thing with being a barrister instead of a solicitor, those are different levels of lawyer in the UK, for those of you who don't live here, is eventually you do earn a lot, which is what he was banking on. But oh my goodness, what a way to start your career. Totally. I'm sure there are American medical students who have done the same thing, going, you know, it's going to pay off. I'm going to learn, you know, brain surgery or something equally destined to get you lots of earnings. Maybe become a plastic surgeon. I know there are different kinds of surgery that pay better than others. There we go. Oh, Penny is currently working 60 hours a week to pay for her son's college, but he graduates in May, so there's light at the end of every tunnel. I love it. Yay. Well done to your whole family making things happen. It's not easy. Good work. Right. On that note. So prop table. I've not stuck it down. I'm going to order another sheet and stick it down. But journaling will go here. The thing I will add once I put it down is a little bit of confetti. Of course I will. But I'll want to take that onto the corners, like a little bit of gold mist to match the gold that's in the stickers, and a few dots to just take me off into these edges. But I think the answer is, if you feel like you don't know where to cut it, this blue paper, then keep it whole. Use large photos in the center so that you've got something with a big focal point, and your focal point is not the paper that you felt was overwhelming. Remember that the other side of that paper is really easy to use, so easy that I used all 5 sheets without realizing it. Layer up lots of other pieces to go together. Remember that you can set your own color scheme, because all you have here are these 2 blues. So you could do these 2 blues in red, you could do these 2 blues in peach, or you could go in with lots of extra colors. So I've started with the 2 blues and then added red and peach and yellow and orange and green. Yeah. There is even a little bit of the blue-green that I was kind of actively avoiding at the beginning, but because all of these other colors appear here, I think we're okay. Right. Does that help? I hope so. Plus, you got discussion on the side about paying for college and debt and getting out of debt. Right. Oh, and scrapbook storage. We did that discussion too. All things. And whether or not I should have my first night of not watching a performance tonight. We shall see what I decide. I'll be live again. Oh, sort of. I think Friday is going to be a live, not live. But there will be something Friday morning. So I might end up changing what says alive to a premiere. So just if you don't get a reminder, a notification, and just pop back over to the channel and see if you see it. Now, if you enjoyed this layout and you want to give the video a thumbs up, that'd be super duper awesome. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching to the end. I hope you have a great rest of your week. See you soon. Bye.